Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a question that's probably on a lot of minds. Is Walmart stock, still a good buy?
It's a timely question, especially given the, kind of crazy ride the markets have been on lately.
Exactly. And to help us unpack this, we're turning to the folks over at L Impact Solutions. They're, a go-to source for financial analysis, and their website, www.lookytools.net, is like a treasure trove of, insights.
Yeah, their reputation is well-deserved, I think. They do some really solid research.
For this deep dive, we're going to be looking at their January 31st, 2025 article. It focused specifically on analyst predictions for Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. Now, you might be, a seasoned investor with a chunk of WMT already in your portfolio, or maybe you're, just starting out and curious about this retail giant. Either way, we're going to break down what the analysts are saying and what you should be paying attention to.
Yeah. The first thing that jumps out from the L Impact Solutions article is Walmart's performance over the past year. I mean, their stock is up a staggering 78.7%.
Right.
To put that in perspective, the S&P 500 only gained 23.3% in the same period.
Yeah, that's an eye-popping number. Even in 2025 alone, WMT has already have 9.2%. So after a run like that, is there even more room to grow?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's where analyst target prices come in. L Impact Solutions lays out a pretty compelling case.
Okay, before we get into those targets, can you give us a quick refresher on what they actually mean?
Absolutely. A target price is essentially what financial analysts believe a stock will be worth in the future. They factor in things like a company's earnings, its competitive landscape, the overall economy, and a bunch of other variables. It's their best educated guess based on all the available data of where the stock is headed.
So it's not a guarantee, but it gives you a sense of what the experts are thinking.
Exactly. And in the case of Walmart, the consensus target price, according to L Impact Solutions, is around $165. Now, remember, this article came out on January 31st, and at that time, WMT was trading quite a bit lower. That target price represented a potential upside of about 10%.
Wait, so even after this, huge jump in price, the analysts think it could go even higher. What's fueling that optimism?
Well, the L Impact Solutions article breaks down several key factors. One of the biggest is Walmart's, consistently strong earnings. They've been beating analysts' expectations, particularly when it comes to their e-commerce business.
So they're not just a brick-and-mortar dinosaur anymore. They're making real headway online.
Right. And that's a big deal in today's retail landscape. They're not just sitting back and letting Amazon run away with the whole e-commerce game.
But that online space is getting pretty crowded.
Yeah.
What makes L Impact Solutions so confident in Walmart's e-commerce strategy?
They highlight a few key things. First, Walmart is investing heavily in its online platform and expanding its delivery options. Think same-day delivery, curbside pickup, all those things that consumers are demanding.
It sounds like they're really trying to make that online experience as seamless as possible.
Exactly. And then there's the fact that Walmart has a huge advantage in terms of its physical footprint. They have stores, everywhere, which makes things like click and collect super convenient for customers.
That makes sense. It's a lot easier to pick up an online order from a store that's 5 minutes away than to wait for it to be shipped from, who knows where.
Exactly. And L Impact Solutions points out that Walmart is also leveraging its physical stores to fulfill online orders more efficiently, which helps keep costs down.
So they're playing to their strengths, that, massive network of stores that they already have. But is that enough to compete with Amazon, which is basically, built for online retail?
Well, that's the big question, and L Impact Solutions acknowledges, the competitive pressure. But they also point to Walmart's commitment to innovation and its willingness to experiment with new technologies.
Speaking of innovation, what specifically is Walmart doing on that front? What did L Impact Solutions uncover?
They delve into some pretty interesting initiatives. One that stands out is their use of AI-powered logistics and inventory management systems. They're using data and algorithms to optimize their supply chain, predict demand, and reduce waste.
So they're not just throwing money at the problem, they're using technology to, get smarter about how they operate.
Right. And that kind of efficiency can really boost profitability, which is something investors love to see.
Okay, so far we've got strong earnings, a growing e-commerce business, and a commitment to innovation. It's starting to sound like L Impact Solutions might be onto something with their bullish outlook. But before we get too carried away, let's talk about the other side of the coin, the risks.
Of course. No investment is without risk, and L Impact Solutions doesn't shy away from that.
So what are some of the potential downsides that they flag? What should investors be wary of?
Well, one of the biggest risks they highlight is the ever-changing nature of consumer behavior. Tastes change, trends come and go, and there's always a chance that people could, simply stop shopping at Walmart as much as they used to.
That fickle consumer can be a real wild card, can't they?
Absolutely. And that's something that's, hard to predict or control, even for a company as large and established as Walmart.
What else should we be keeping an eye on?
Another risk that L Impact Solutions points to is the potential for a major economic downturn. Even a company like Walmart, which is often considered, somewhat recession-proof, could be impacted if things get really bad.
Yeah, those macroeconomic forces can be pretty unpredictable and can really shake things up.
Right.
But hasn't Walmart historically done well during tough economic times?
They have, and that's partly why they're seen as a, kind of safe haven for investors during recessions. But L Impact Solutions cautions that even Walmart isn't entirely immune. If people are really struggling financially, they might cut back even on, essential spending. And that would definitely impact Walmart's bottom line.
So even the giants can stumble if the ground beneath them shifts enough. But hasn't Walmart been, preparing for a potential recession?
Yeah.
What did the L Impact Solutions analysis say about that?
They did mention that Walmart has been, taking steps to strengthen its position in case of a recession. They've been focusing on value pricing, which tends to resonate with consumers during tough times. They've also been expanding their private label offerings, which often have, lower prices than national brands.
So they're trying to make sure they're the go-to destination for, budget-conscious shoppers.
Exactly. And that's a smart move, given the current, economic uncertainty.
Okay, so we've got consumer behavior and economic downturns on our radar.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Of course. We can't forget about the competition. Amazon, Target, and a whole host of, other retailers are constantly vying for market share. Walmart can't afford to rest on its laurels. It has to keep innovating and evolving to stay ahead of the curve.
It's like a constant arms race in the, in the retail world, isn't it?
Exactly. And L Impact Solutions stresses that point. They argue that Walmart's ability to, fend off competition and maintain its market share will be crucial to its long-term success.
So what's the takeaway for, investors? What should they be focusing on as they consider whether or not to invest in Walmart?
I think the key is to, look beyond the headlines and really dig into the details. And that's where a resource like L Impact Solutions can be incredibly valuable. Their website, www.lokitools.net, is a great place to start.
What specifically should we be looking for on the L Impact Solutions website?
Well, their analysis goes beyond just summarizing, Walmart's financial performance. They dig deeper into the company's strategies, its competitive landscape, the risks it faces, and its, long-term prospects.
So they're not just telling you what happened; they're helping you understand why it happened and what it might mean for the future.
Exactly. And that's the kind of informed analysis that can really, make a difference when you're making investment decisions.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here, but this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. We've just scratched the surface of what L Impact Solutions has to offer. There's a lot more to uncover.
Definitely. So what stands out to you so far about this, about this deep dive? Are you buying into L Impact Solutions' bullish outlook on Walmart, or are there red flags jumping out at you?
What fascinates me is that Walmart is often seen as, this kind of boring old school retailer. But when you look at the numbers and the strategies they're implementing, it's clear they're not just surviving. They're thriving in a rapidly changing industry.
It's like they're this sleeping giant that's starting to wake up and flex its muscles.
Exactly. And that makes them a really interesting case study, both from a business perspective and an investment perspective.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling. We're not just talking about stock prices. We're exploring the forces shaping the future of retail and considering what it all means for investors.
Right. And L Impact Solutions gives us, a fantastic framework for having that conversation.
It's been a really insightful discussion so far, and we're just getting started.
There's a lot more to explore, especially when it comes to, Walmart's impact beyond the bottom line.
That's a great point. L Impact Solutions focuses a lot on, stock price. But as you consider investing in Walmart, listener, should their social impact factor into your decision? Let's explore that. We'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's interesting that the L Impact Solutions analysis, while insightful, primarily focuses on Walmart's stock performance and its potential for growth.
Right. But Walmart is such a, massive company with an undeniable presence in so many aspects of our lives. It's more than just a ticker symbol on a screen.
Exactly, and that raises some important questions that go beyond just financial metrics. What about Walmart's impact on on society as a whole? Are they a force for good?
That's a huge question and one that L Impact Solutions doesn't really address in their analysis.
They do touch upon some of Walmart's initiatives related to sustainability and community engagement, but it's definitely not the primary focus of their report.
Which makes sense given their focus on, financial analysis. But I think it's important for investors and really anyone who interacts with Walmart to consider these, broader implications.
Absolutely, and that's where things can get a little more complex and nuanced.
For sure. I mean, on the one hand, Walmart provides jobs for millions of people and makes, affordable goods accessible to a wide range of consumers.
That's certainly true, and they've made significant strides in recent years to improve their environmental practices and support local communities.
But they've also faced criticism for their labor practices, their environmental impact, and their influence on local economies.
Right, and it's important to acknowledge those criticisms and consider all sides of the story.
It seems like Walmart, like many large corporations, faces this constant tension between maximizing, profits and being a responsible corporate citizen.
That tension is definitely there, and ultimately, it's up to each individual to decide how they weigh those factors.
I think that's a really crucial point. Investing isn't just about picking stocks that will make you money. It's also about, aligning your investments with your values.
Absolutely, and if you're considering investing in Walmart, it's worth taking the time to research their social and environmental track record and decide if it aligns with your personal ethics.
For listeners who want to do that kind of, deep dive into Walmart's social impact, are there resources you recommend?
There are a ton of great organizations and websites out there that provide in-depth analysis and ratings of corporate social responsibility. A good place to start might be the website of the Corporate Social Responsibility Initiative at Harvard Kennedy School. They have a wealth of information and resources on this topic.
That's a great tip. I'm also curious, how does L Impact Solutions, as a financial analysis firm, view this growing emphasis on ESG, environmental, social, and governance factors in investing?
That's a great question, and it's something that more and more investors are paying attention to these days.
Do they see it as a fad, or is it something they're, incorporating into their analysis?
It's definitely not a fad. It's a real trend, and it's having a significant impact on the way companies are being, evaluated by investors.
So they're not just looking at the numbers anymore. They're also considering a company's impact on the world.
Exactly. And L Impact Solutions is definitely, taking note of this trend. They've started incorporating, ESG factors into their analysis and even have dedicated sections on their website, www.luckytools.net, that focus specifically on these issues.
So even for investors who are primarily focused on, financial returns, it's becoming increasingly important to consider ESG factors.
Right, because those factors can have a real impact on a company's, long-term sustainability and profitability.
It's like you can't just ignore the world around you and expect to succeed in the long run.
Exactly. Companies that are, proactive about addressing ESG issues are often better positioned to, navigate risks, attract and retain talent, and build stronger relationships with their, customers and communities.
So it's not just about doing good; it's also about doing well.
That's a great way to put it. It's about finding that sweet spot where purpose and profit intersect.
And it sounds like L Impact Solutions is helping investors find that intersection?
They're definitely on the forefront of this, movement, and their website is a great resource for anyone who wants to, learn more about ESG investing.
Okay, so we've established that social impact is something, uh, investors should be thinking about. But how does that actually play out in practice? How can someone align their investments with their values?
There are a few, different approaches. One option is to invest in, companies that have a strong track record on ESG issues.
So companies that are actively working to, reduce their environmental impact, promote social justice, and operate with strong ethical principles.
Exactly. And there are a number of, funds and indexes that track these kinds of companies.
So you can actually invest in a basket of companies that are, aligned with your values.
Right. And these funds often have, rigorous screening processes to ensure that the companies they invest in are, truly walking the talk.
That's really interesting. So you don't have to be a financial expert to invest responsibly.
Not at all. There are more and more resources available to help, everyday investors align their portfolios with their values.
Hmm. That's great to hear. But what about investors who already own stock in a company that's not exactly a shining example of, corporate social responsibility? What can they do?
That's a tricky situation, and there's no easy answer.
Do they just sell their shares and walk away?
That's certainly an option, but it might not always be the most effective.
What else can they do?
They can use their shareholder power to advocate for change within the company. They can attend shareholder meetings, submit resolutions, and engage with management on ESG issues.
So they can actually try to influence the company from within.
Exactly. And shareholder activism can be a powerful force for driving positive change.
That's really empowering. It's a reminder that we're not just, passive investors. We can actually use our voices and our wallets to make a difference.
Absolutely. And the more investors who demand, corporate accountability on ESG issues, the more companies will be forced to listen and respond.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of considering, social impact when making investment decisions. But there's another aspect of this that I'm curious about. What about the role of innovation beyond the bottom line?
That's a really, intriguing question, and it's something that L Impact Solutions touches upon in their analysis.
They talk a lot about Walmart's focus on, growth and profitability, but what about their potential to drive, positive change in the world?
Right. Are they just, playing the game of capitalism, or are they using their size and influence to make a real difference?
I'm thinking about things like their supply chain, their vast network of stores and suppliers, their reach into communities all over the world. They have so much potential to address, major social and environmental challenges.
They do. Imagine if they, use their supply chain expertise to tackle food waste, or if they leverage their buying power to promote sustainable agriculture.
Or if they invested heavily in, renewable energy and made their operations carbon neutral.
Those are some big what ifs, but they're not outside the realm of possibility.
It's like they're sitting on this, this untapped potential to be a force for
Yeah.
good.
And it begs the question, what will they choose to do with that potential?
That's a question for Walmart and for all of us to consider. We'll be back in a moment to continue this discussion. Stay with us.
Yeah, it is fascinating to think about the potential. Walmart has to drive real change.
It really is. I mean, they're in a unique position to influence everything from, labor practices to sustainability standards on a global scale. I think a lot of people still view them as this, massive impersonal corporation. But if they embrace this idea of innovation beyond beyond the bottom line, it could really shift, perceptions.
It would be huge. It could even, inspire other companies to follow their lead and raise the bar for corporate responsibility.
So, what are some concrete steps they could take? What would this kind of transformative innovation look like in action?
Well, let's start with their, environmental footprint. We know from the L Impact Solutions analysis that they've made progress on things like reducing waste and increasing energy efficiency.
Right, but there's always room to, to do more. What could they push for that would be truly, game-changing?
Imagine if they committed to sourcing 100% renewable energy for all their stores and operations. I mean, that would send a powerful message to the entire industry.
Absolutely. And it would have a significant impact on their, carbon emissions. But what about the social side of things?
Yeah.
What kind of initiatives could they spearhead there?
They could double down on their efforts to support local communities, maybe partner with local farmers to source more produce, invest in community development programs, or create opportunities for, underprivileged entrepreneurs.
Those are all great ideas. It
Yeah.
would really make them a more integral part of the communities they serve.
Exactly, and it would help build, trust and loyalty with both, customers and employees.
I think it's easy to get caught up in the numbers and the stock prices, but at the end of the day, companies are made up of people,
Hmm.
and they operate within a larger ecosystem. You can't ignore that human element.
That's so true. And I think, LMPAC Solutions, even with their focus on financial analysis, recognizes that. Their website, www.lokitools.net, does highlight some of the, social and governance aspects of Walmart's operations.
So it sounds like they're trying to, paint a more holistic picture of the company, which
Yeah.
is really what we're trying to do in this deep dive.
Absolutely. It's about, looking beyond the surface and considering all the factors that contribute to a company's success and its impact on the world.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like we've really unpacked the complexities of Walmart as a company and its potential for both growth and positive change.
I agree. It's been fascinating to explore these different facets of Walmart and consider the role it plays in our lives and in the global economy.
I think we've given our listener a lot to think about, especially as they consider their own investment decision.
Definitely. And if they're looking for more in-depth analysis and insights, I highly recommend checking out www.ladytools.net. L Impact Solutions really does a fantastic job of providing a comprehensive view of companies like Walmart.
They've certainly given us a solid foundation for this deep dive, and we're so grateful for their expertise.
It's been a pleasure to join you for this conversation.
Likewise. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Walmart. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and perhaps even a new perspective on this, our retail giant. Remember, investing is about more than just numbers. It's about aligning your money with your values and your vision for the future. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.